This is a presentation of the Sports Source Digital Network, presented by Hearthside Bank.
Welcome in to the Sports Source Digital Network. I'm John Pennington, joined by VFLs Marlon Walls, Ollie Lane, and joined by VFL at heart, John Wilkerson. VFL AH, John Wilkerson. Thanks to Hearthside Bank for bringing everything on this channel, and thanks to Games and Things for giving us this cool room. If you ever look at this room and think, man, I need a game room for myself, everything you see here, you can get at home. Check out ourgameroom.com to learn more about games and things. Okay. 5 questions to get you ready for Tennessee, Arkansas tomorrow. First one, and we're the old guys, so this one's easier for us, but excluding the Clint Stoerner fumble in 1998, probably one of the top 5 plays in Tennessee football history.
Yep.
Excluding the Clint Stoerner fumble, what play from an Arkansas-Tennessee game do you remember most, if there is one? Do you remember one? And it may just be one. Did you play Arkansas in your career?
I did, but I wasn't at that game. I didn't
Okay.
get to travel, but there is one that Marlon got to play on that team and saw.
Whoa.
You're going.
I might let him talk about that one first.
No, you can throw it out there.
Go ahead.
I just remember that punt return in 2011 where it looked like a video game out there. I think the guy's name was Joe Adams.
Joe Adams.
It just looked unreal. Broke like 4 or 5, maybe 10 tackles. Ran it all the way back for a touchdown. That's a play that you always see pulling up on X or something all the time. Like, remember this amazing college football play? I'm like, yeah, I remember it. I wasn't too happy about it.
Yeah.
Marlon?
Well, it was a top 10, I want to say, several weeks in a row. Because Joe Adams made, I think he made one of the guys, I won't say his name, he made one of the guys on our team miss 3 times in that one play.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my number one because I was standing on the sideline and ready to go play defense. Helmet is on, ready to go. All we got to do is stop a punt. And then you see that transpire, and it's like, man, what in the world? It was like Halloween. Let's just get out of Fayetteville. So that's my number one play I always will remember, unfortunately.
Right. John Wilkerson, you got one?
Yeah, I got actually a couple, and staying in that same game, that 98 game, they misjudged, meaning that they failed to adjudicate correctly the punter who kicked it through the end zone. It should not have gone against. It shouldn't have been 2 points for Tennessee. It should have been Tennessee's ball inside the 5. And so it should have been Tennessee in a goal-to-go situation sitting there. And then it was the sequence of plays. Travis Henry, when Tennessee recovers the fumble, he was just a man by himself. I mean, he just tore into that end zone with one punishing run after the other. But if you're going a single play outside of that game, Jason Witten, first play, overtime number 6, touchdown, Tennessee, instant victory.
So you went with about 6 or 7 plays there. All of you got the Jason Witten, the 6 overtime. Casey Clausen, I guess, threw in that one. You had the multiple plays by Travis Henry on that drive to win it. And then the way they screwed up the adjudication, could use the word, of the kick through the – didn't he kick it through the end zone?
Yes.
Was that the deal? Yeah. I would say this, being at that game, that Arkansas game in 98, I don't think I've ever seen a game completely and totally flip off one play like that Clint Stoerner thing flipped it. Tennessee had not been able to run all over Arkansas like that, and it was like, oh, we got a second chance? That's it. You look like a high school defense now.
Yes.
We're just going to jam it down your throat. I can't remember ever seeing a game where it was such a nip and tuck affair the entire way, and you felt like they're going to get the best of us. One play, and then boom, you jam it down their throats. Yep, that's a good one. Mine, I will go back to before Arkansas was in the SEC, long before you boys were born. Because you're what? Go ahead and tell the folks when you were born. 99?
Yeah, 99, yeah.
And you're?
I'm the old guy, 90.
Yeah, you ain't the old guy. Because I was in school in 90, and I remember that's where I'm going. I'm going to 1990. So maybe you were alive.
Yeah.
Actually, probably not, because this was Cotton Bowl.
My schooling ended before 90.
So it was January 1990, Tennessee in the Cotton Bowl against Arkansas. I think both teams were in the top 5 at that point. Andy Kelly, it's funny, I remember all these big throws from Andy Kelly, so in my mind, he's like, oh, what a quarterback he was. Then you go back and look at the stats, it's like, man, he threw a lot of interceptions. That Cotton Bowl, he was like 9 of 23. But He threw, in my opinion, maybe the most beautiful touchdown pass. It was like you drew it to Anthony Morgan, 84 yards right down the middle of the field. It was a perfectly thrown bomb, and Morgan took off. And I've always remembered that as one of the most beautiful pass plays in UT history. So there's your Arkansas memory for me. We don't have anybody here old enough to go back to, I think there was a fumble that Tennessee recovered. Was that Maryland or Arkansas in that Liberty Bowl? I think Arkansas, in a Liberty Bowl in the 70s, there was a fumble. And you can tell us, we're not getting into the volunteer nickname this week, but somebody out there who's old enough to remember that Liberty Bowl. I know Tennessee played Maryland in a Liberty Bowl. They played Arkansas in a Liberty Bowl. I think there was a fumble that kind of turned that game around, but I can't remember if it was Arkansas or Maryland. So you tell us in the comments section. Question number 2. Tennessee has only had 4 receivers reach 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns in a year. Only 4. Chris Brazzell is on pace for 1,380 yards and 18 touchdowns in what would be a 13-game schedule. Now, back in the day, they didn't count the bowl games, and now you could play 14, 15 games. But if we just give him the 12 games and then 1 bowl or playoff game, 18 touchdowns, 1,380. Both of those would be school records. Will he break either of those school records? Why or why not? John Wilkerson.
I think he'll get at least one of them, and I think he has a great chance to get both of them. And that's just because even if teams will continue to adjust to him, I think he just has a knack for being able to go get the football, and I also think that Joey Aguilar loves throwing it in his direction. So I'm going to say thumbs up, yes.
Okay.
I'm going to say yes as well, at least one of them.
Yeah.
I would say the touchdown one just because when Joey's in trouble, he knows I can throw it up to 17. You're going to get some doubling starting here pretty soon.
Yes.
Your SEC schedule gets a little bit tougher. But what Brazzell does really well is just throw the ball in my vicinity. I can go get the football, adjust really well in the air to go, get a football and bring the ball down. So I say give him one of them.
I thought the difference between Jalen Hyatt, sophomore and junior year, was unbelievable.
Yeah.
The difference we've seen so far between Brazzell last year and this year is remarkable, absolutely remarkable. Does he get one of them?
I say yes, but. And the but is exactly what you guys alluded to. As they start to show him more pressure, more double teams, all this other things, is he going to be able to still go out there and get the ball? Is he going to be the number 1 target?
Yeah.
Because at that point in time, now you're thinking, well, I've got one of these other 2 that might be a better option now. If Brazzell's doubled up, so do you now start trusting those other guys? Are they going to be able to come up to where a defense has to say, no, I got to cover all these guys equally? And I think if you get to a point where those other 2 guys step up in that aspect, he's going to easily break 2 of those records, no doubt.
Then I'll be the negative guy simply because they're records. Records are hard to break.
Yep.
You can sprain an ankle, miss a game. I think they are going to start doubling you a little bit, playing you differently. He's on an unbelievable pace. I'm not going to be shocked if he breaks one, but I'll just play the odds and say these are records for a reason. They're hard to break. So I'll say he doesn't get them, but I think he's going to have a very special year coming close, even if he doesn't break them.
And he is available for kids' parties, people.
That's exactly right. All right, question number 3. If you had to boot, and I'm asking this Arkansas week because they're one of these teams you added, and they're one of the teams that I would probably put on my list here. If you had to boot 6 schools from the SEC to get it to a 10-team league, who would you kick out? And this isn't about TV ratings or income. I mean, if you want to do it that way, you can, but it's more about just for your own interest. Who would you want to keep in the SEC? Who would you throw out to make the right SEC? And to show you how it's done and the correct answers. Texas and Oklahoma, I'm sorry, that's never going to feel like SEC to me. Missouri really doesn't. Arkansas, sorry, get out. Vanderbilt, everybody knows I loathe. It's not that George Caffa go, I hate Vandy. I just have no interest in Vandy. I don't care. Yes, they played Alabama in a good game last week. It's fascinating. Wow. I don't care. They're a private school. They don't fit. Get them out. Yeah. And then, unfortunately, I don't have anything against Mississippi State, but I think South Carolina's a good fit, and I think Texas A&M is a great fit. I think Texas A&M, when you think insane, stupid, bizarro, weird traditions, over-the-top fans, crazy like the SEC, A&M fits it. Yep. A&M is their own kind of crazy, and like every other school in this league. So to me, I would keep A&M and keep South Carolina, and that means original members Vandy and Mississippi State have to go. That's my take. Let's go with another, my geezer partner on this show. Where are you going?
Get out. Everybody that came after 1991, you've now been shown the door. So we go back to Arkansas, South Carolina. You can be the first to go. Then you can, as you're walking out the door, say Missouri and Texas A&M, you'd better come with us. And then Texas and Oklahoma, they'll certainly get the hint. But if you weren't here in 1933, then get out.
Do you welcome back Tulane, Georgia Tech, and Sewanee?
Rather than any of these bozos, yes.
Wow. So none of them you think fit in the SEC?
It was, like you said, the exercise, and I still think they ain't from around here.
Well, and I thought somebody would go, I thought you would go Original 10. That's good. All right. I bet there are a lot of viewers out there saying Original 10. Marlon, who would you toss?
All right, look like we've got the same on the list, John. It's just I got mine mixed up a little bit. So I've got Missouri first. It's a dump, man. It's hard to go play there. And we don't play them this week, so I can say that.
Yeah.
But man, it doesn't feel like the SEC. The fans are a little different. And then I've got Texas and Oklahoma. I've got Oklahoma and then Texas. Again, I think just from a recruiting standpoint and just me growing up on SEC football, it's just not a good fit right now. It still hasn't rubbed off on me. Then I've got Vandy, Mississippi State, and Arkansas, and they're bottom feeders. Let's go find somebody that can,
So you're keeping A&M in South Carolina?
Keep A&M. I love A&M in the SEC. Okay. I think it just fits. Like you just said, they're kind of weird and quirky. And
and I think Carolina fits
overall.
Too. The whole 9 yards. They stand the whole time, all the cheers, all that weird stuff. Yeah. And I think Carolina is a good fit in the SEC. At the time, I was like, that's more of an ACC feel, but they've grown on me.
Yep.
It's a very SEC kind of a town, I think, when I've been to Columbia. Reminds me a lot of Knoxville and Lexington, to be honest.
I agree with you.
What are you doing?
Well, somewhat similar, as you can see from this list.
Let's get you to one.
See it right here. You got Vandy, Oklahoma, Missouri, Mississippi State, Arkansas, Kentucky. These, to me, seem like some of our bottom barrel teams. If you're going to continue to call the SEC the best conference, I think you get rid of the bottom barrel teams and you throw them in. And especially like Missouri on here, it's the gateway to the West. If there was the SWC, the Southern Western Conference,
which there was.
That would make sense. They don't fit in the Southeastern Conference, and it used to infuriate me that they put them in the East Division of the Southeastern Conference. But then you start looking at, I put Kentucky on there just because Kentucky they're competitive, but they're not competitive. For many years in a row, it's just been, woes, Kentucky. They're not doing a bunch of good things.
Well, they've admitted it's more money to basketball, and they don't want to spend as much on football as everybody else.
I'm going to be honest, if you're going to be a basketball school, you don't fit in the SEC. That's just my opinion.
And we're talking more here about football. I should have said that. But this from a football perspective. So I'll let you two do it. We're in agreement.
Yeah,
we're right. Congratulations.
And he's Texas away from being in lockstep.
See, I like Texas, and I like Texas A&M. I like having both of them in there because they do feel like Southern schools. I mean, Texas has got a Longhorn. That's a Southern animal, I feel like.
Careful, we're going down the
But when you have both those teams in, that's an already pre-established rivalry as well that you're adding to a conference. And it's a rich rivalry, which the SEC is loaded with rich rivalries.
Davy Crockett volunteered to ride a Longhorn. All right. So you two are the ones that are the most different because he threw out 3 original members to keep Texas, A&M, and South Carolina. Out went Vandy, Mississippi State, Kentucky.
That's right.
What do you have to say to him?
I'm just saying you're all wrong.
So that's the one.
We're talking about the Southeastern Conference, which was formed right here in Knoxville.
That's right. It's still, to me, if you're going to expand a conference, and it's because it was done for all these different reasons over the years. It's like, first, just to get to a championship game. Then you had 2 more teams because everybody's in their cable networks. So it's all, we got to get a new state. And then this last 2 were, let's just get the biggest brands you can get. Yeah. If you had just done this we've got to get to 16 teams, and we need 16 regional teams that fit, you'd have gone and rated the ACC, and it would have been Clemson and Florida State, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, Virginia, Duke, whatever. You would have had that group, and that would have felt right, I think. It would have still been odd.
Yep.
But I would rather go east than west, as you said.
And then I would have had fun writing Clemson down on this, just kick them out.
Get them out. We've already got Auburn. We don't need Auburn with a lake. Yeah. That's what they say about Clemson. Okay. Let me give you some drive times here. Okay. We'll start with this before I get to the question. From Knoxville, Kentucky and Vandy are both within 3 hours driving. South Carolina and Georgia are about 4 hours. Alabama and Auburn are about 5 hours. Ole Miss and Mississippi State are within 7 hours. Florida's about 8 hours. Then you get Missouri, LSU, and Arkansas are all 10 to 11 hours. Oklahoma, Texas, Texas A&M are all 13 or more hours by car. To feel like a real rival, and obviously there can be exceptions here. Mm-hmm. You can have Tennessee, Florida. To me, I don't think everybody within 8 hours is a rival. To feel like a real rival, a school has to be within a blank hour drive. What do you say?
I would draw that original circle at 5 hours with the noteworthy exception, because the thing is, as soon as you cross that Georgia state line into Florida, it's wide open. So, I mean, you feel like you're making great progress at that point in time. But I do think that would be the one exception. I mean, because you can point to, granted, Notre Dame's not really close to anything, but they have their wonderful rivalry with Southern Cal.
Sure.
And so I do think that as long as there's just that consistency of hatred and competition, that's what really fuels it. And so it can be really any distance. But as far as this particular question, I like the 5 hour window. Everything after that, you're kind of pushing it.
Yeah, to me, to feel like a real rival. And again, to me, the key to a rival is somebody has to take something from you. Tennessee, South Carolina played for 30 years before South Carolina beat you and it really knocked you out of the playoff. And then all of a sudden, everybody hates South Carolina around here. There wasn't that kind of hatred for South Carolina. Okay, Steve Spurrier, we don't like him. Lou Holtz, don't like him.
Yep.
But it wasn't until they beat you, then it's like, oh, Shane Beamer. Really? You hate that guy more than some of these? So it's when they take something away from you. And that means you could have schools miles apart. Tennessee lost to Purdue like 18 straight years in basketball in the NCAA tournament, Purdue and Michigan. To me, I don't like those teams in basketball because of that. But I think to feel like a rival, your students or your fans have to be able to get in a car that morning, make it in time for a kickoff in the afternoon, and then turn around and come back if they need to. That is a rivalry, and that's about a 5 hour drive. That is, to me, Kentucky, Vandy, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Auburn. Ole Miss and Mississippi State are on the cusp. On the cusp. But I'm still keeping it 5 hours.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
That's exactly what I was going to say, that 5 hour radius, because that, to me, is a travelable distance. You don't have to get in a plane. You can still drive it. And two, to make it a real rivalry game within that hour limit, it's to your point, how realistic is it that your fans are going to travel? Because that's what makes it a rivalry game. If you say I'm a rival with someone, but none of your fans come with you to the game, it's not a rivalry game. It's just another game. But when you have that huge fan base, and somewhat Tennessee is at a disposition because those fans will go anywhere across the country to watch the Vols play. And so I think when you do set it up that way, that 5 hour distance sounds right because that's a still drivable distance, and you're going to see a lot of fans go that far. But when you start pushing 7, 8, 10, 11, then not a lot of people wanting to plan flight plans for a weekend.
Right. I mean, if you're having to drive to Texas and race back, you might as well just pick you up some Coors. It's right. It's the Smokey and the Bandit.
They say can't be done.
That's right, driving there and back.
In this window, you can actually go outside the house, say, I'm just going to go grab a biscuit and an orange juice, and you wind up at the stadium.
Close.
It's kind of like, I'm going.
Marlon, what do you say the drive time is?
All right, so I'm born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, so I'm going to say 6 hours.
6 hours, there you go.
Maybe 6.5. I do that drive
that
all the time. It's a breeze. But I'll say 6.5. Again, same thing. I can jump in the car early in the morning, get there, get to the game. Now, you might have to spend the night, but you can get up early in the morning and get on back to the house. So I would say 6.5, I think, is a good rivalry that's enough distance in between.
How long does it take you to drive from here to Memphis?
5.5.
Yeah, that's what I use.
5.5.
So
heavy foot.
Yeah, and then Ole Miss and Mississippi, and these are Google drive times. They're all a little bit long for me. I'm a little quicker than that, but yeah,
because you're focused.
Exactly. It's somewhere, but for me, it's Alabama, Auburn. But again, that Mississippi, I mean, one of your greatest rivals that ended when you changed division play was Ole Miss. You've still played them. They're like your fourth most played rival, and you don't get them on a regular basis. So that one is close. 5-6 hours feels right to me. All right, last one, and God, I love this question. Number 5. If your life depended on it, it's always a good question when you start with that. If your life depended on hiring one of these 3 guys to win games, to avoid scandal, to avoid bad press, and to stay loyal to your school, in what order would you hire? Alphabetical order. Hugh Freeze, Lane Kiffin, Bobby Petrino. Life depended on it. Who's the guy you hire first, second, third?
There's not another option on there?
Nope, they got to be scandal-free, avoid bad press, be loyal, and win games.
All right, I started off. But I've always said this about this guy because I played under him. We would have won a lot of SEC championships. We'd have had to return some, though. I'll go Lane Kiffin 1, just because he just put down, publicly drinking and all the rest of that kind of good stuff. So he might be on the right path. But some of that stuff he won't ever change. And then so I've got this is a tough. Let's go Petrino after that. Just keep him away from motorcycles and then.
But here's the thing: in terms of being loyal, though, left the Falcons mid-year.
Yeah, but what Hugh Freeze did was that's. I can't.
Well, I don't want to get too much into morals. All these guys. We all have our own skeletons.
Yeah,
in our closet. But these three, they came out of the closet. The skeletons did. We all got to see them. All right, so you would go Freeze 2. No, you'd go Petrino 2 and Freeze 3.
And then Freeze. Yeah.
All right, so Kiffin, Petrino, Freeze. John Wilkerson.
Yeah, 5 years ago, it's a three-way tie for third. I will say this. When you look at what he's done of late, Lane Kiffin is a solid number 1 for me. And then because Petrino has his history and he continues to add to it, I would put a reformed Hugh Freeze at number 2. And then with Petrino, my goodness. There were already whispers that he was back channel conversations with people that, hey, when this goes sour this year, I'm the guy, right? So my guess, it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't have plays they've been working on that he will now call for the first time this season because he didn't want to help Sam Pittman. So Petrino, he would be number 4 on my list.
Where you going?
Obviously, I think I'm going to start out with Lane Kiffin, similar. I think he's grown a lot over his time being a head coach, and especially at his time at Ole Miss. He seems to have really kind of grown a little bit more in his professional aspects of things. Obviously still tweeting out whatever he feels like to other people.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
But he's going to win you games. And so if that's something that my life depends on, winning games, I know Lane Kiffin will win me games. I don't feel like Hugh Freeze is going to win me football games. He hasn't really done it that well for Auburn so far.
Yeah.
And so, I think I would go Petrino, then Hugh Freeze. However, though, it flips because exactly what you said. I really like Sam Pittman, and I think someone would do something like that, playing behind the scenes, and that seems exactly what somewhat has taken place. And so that's almost like having a cancer in your organization, but just praying for the downfall. And you don't want that. If I want to have a successful program, I can't have a team cancer in there.
Didn't Petrino also once was flirting with Auburn when he was at Louisville, trying to snake that job from under who? Would that have been Tuberville at the time? Who was he trying to?
Or was it Chizik?
Might have been Chizik. No, I think it was before Chizik. That might have been. He was trying to snake it, though. Yeah, my number, I'll go in reverse order. 3, you always hear with a bullet. My 3 is Petrino with an iron cannonball around his leg because he couldn't be dropping any faster. I wouldn't hire Petrino. He may win, but I wouldn't trust that guy, period. I was going to, with blank, I just wouldn't trust him.
And you mentioned the Falcons. He left letters in the locker room. Didn't say anything to any of his players. Left letters, printed letters, not written, printed letters.
Might change my pick.
Petrino is. I don't think these other guys really even. If you look at all the ways he has screwed over schools and stuff, and former coaches, and maybe his last head coach, I'm not a Petrino guy. That would be number 3. I would easily go Hugh Freeze, but you nailed it. He's not winning right now. If this question were asked when he was at Ole Miss, but then we wouldn't have known about the other stuff either.
Right.
So I'm gonna go. Oh boy, my problem. I'll go Kiffin 1, then Freeze, then Petrino. My problem with Kiffin though, and everybody says he's grown up. First of all, there's a good chance if they offer him the Florida job, he's gonna now leave Ole Miss, just like he left Tennessee in the dark of night. I think and Ole Miss was the one that kind of gave him his next big time chance after Tennessee, after USC. He goes to FAU, and Ole Miss is like, we'll take it. Come on here. And he did stay when Auburn came calling, but he could turn around and leave for Florida. But my problem with him is, in him growing up, he takes so many ugly shots at other coaches in terms of Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze got in trouble because he was playing golf. Kiffin got in there and made fun of that. Yeah. And he recently took shots at Billy Napier when the fans are at Billy Napier. And I'm surprised that other coaches take it. Mm-hmm. I've told you guys this in private. I'm a sweet guy. Until you try and mess with my job, then I'll cut your throat. And if Lane Kiffin, I'm surprised none of these guys have just blasted him the way if you come between me and my job, you are trying to snake my job or get me fired. I'm bringing up all the old stuff. Yeah. I'm bringing up Joey Freshwater. Yeah. I'm bringing up your drinking. I'm asking, how do you have time to tweet? Aren't you driving your high school girlfriend to class? I'm surprised no one at one of these meetings hasn't just dropped him. Yeah. Just decked him.
Maybe he's really good at looking at other people's skeletons.
Maybe. I'm just not. So for me to put him first on the list says a lot about Hugh Freeze and Bobby Petrino. Yes. Because I don't think he's grown up at all. I think if you're trying to it's one thing to be playful. It's another thing if a fan base is picking on their head coach and you get in and try and amplify that, that's a certain level of sleaze because you're screwing over not only that head coach and his family, but all those assistant coaches and all their families. Yeah. And you're somebody who walks around in a glass house and you're throwing stones left and right. Yeah, I'm not a Lane Kiffin guy. I never will be. All right. That was a fun one. Something just beeped. I think that means it's over. Marlon Walls, John Wilkerson, Ollie Lane right here. Thank you for watching. Leave us your comment. Rank these guys. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell Marlon where he's wrong. Just let us know. Tell us where we're right on occasion. What should be an SEC rival? 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours? Who would you throw out of the SEC? Put it in the comment box. Give us a like. Hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell. We'll see you next time, including tomorrow for the Sports Source Saturday kickoff, and we'll see you right back here on the Sports Source Digital Network.